tracking the missing groom. The FBI combing over that video as we go to air. We are taking your calls right now. Special guest joining us, Cristin Marandino with the Greenwich Magazine, who broke this story. Cristin, the editor of Greenwich Magazine, with us live. Cristin, thank you for being with us. This is, I know, incredible to a lot of people, but in my line of business, Cristin, you'd be surprised at how many, for instance, even serial killers keep mementos, write long manifestos about their murders, keep all sorts of items belonging to murder victims. And in this case, reportedly, 4 men who have long been under the focus of the FBI apparently emerge on homemade video bragging about the death. Cristin Marandino, Greenwich Magazine, what can you tell us, Cristin?
Well, thank you for having me, Nancy. I can't really go so far into the tape and even really have so much to say. There were just very self-incriminating statements that these men made, and it is quite amazing that that they would do such a thing and such a momentum would be kept. And it is with the FBI, and that's really the focus of why we decided to get in the game with this story at this point, is get that out there. And the FBI does have it, and it is something that really is being looked at and is going to be a key piece of evidence.
Major breaking news at this hour. Has homemade video emerged of 4 men who meet up with the newlyweds on their dream honeymoon there on the cruise. Caught on homemade video, bragging, mocking the death of 26-year-old George Smith, apparently later incriminating themselves in statements that they believe the couple to be millionaires. We know this isn't true. Was this all a killing, a murder over money they believe to be in the couple's stateroom? With us tonight, renowned professor of forensic science Henry Lee. Dr. Lee actually goes on board that cruise ship, Brilliance of the Seas, to take a look at the remaining evidence himself. I want to go back to Cristin Marandino, editor, Greenwich Magazine. Who are these 4 men, Cristin?
The 4 men, there's 3 Russian-American men who have come to known in the story as the Russians, and then there is another gentleman who befriended them on the cruise ship from California by the name of Josh Askin.
It's my understanding they're the Russian guys and then Josh Askin. Now,
correct.
To your understanding, with me, Cristin Marandino from Greenwich Magazine, they meet up with the honeymooning couple for the first time on the cruise ship. And it's my understanding that a new theory is emerging based a lot on what the bride says, that she has no recollection whatsoever after a certain point the night before. Not just drinking. I don't think anybody on this panel has never had a drink where you might have a hangover, you might feel bad the next morning, but it sounds more as if she and her husband may have been slipped a roofie, GHB, gamma hydroxybutyrate, because she has absolutely no recollection whatsoever, and in fact wakes up in her stateroom, on her bed, in the same dress she had on the night before. What do you make of it, Cristin Marandino?
It is all very, very odd, and she has absolutely no recollection of the night before. And, you know, for one, you would need to consume a tremendous amount of alcohol to have absolutely no recollection. She also then did get up and go to her massage appointment, which, you know, she thought George was out and didn't really think much of it. The masseuse then went on to say she didn't reek of alcohol, which, as we know, if you're out on some bender all night long, there's going to be some alcohol coming out of your skin, especially when you're getting a massage. So it doesn't add up that there's no recollection, that the couple was also seen going from, you know, having a good time to suddenly very, very inebriated, couldn't walk, having problems. To go from 0 to 60 so quickly, it seems like there must be something else at play.
I think you're right, and this is the same type of story we have heard from many, many victims who have been the victim of GHB, Georgia homeboy, date rape, drug, roofie, gamma hydroxybutyrate. Out to Pat Lalama, correspondent with Investigation Discovery, joining us tonight on the story. Pat, let's go.